This episode is brought to you by Cellular Performance Institute. Is your body beat up and broken down? Look into stem cells today. It could change your life. Go to cellularperformanceinstitute.com. All you jiu-jitsu heads out there, catch me in Murrieta, California at 10th Planet Murrieta, July 12th. See you there.
I can't believe I won.
And you still got people out there with double masks and face shields and shit. Look into it.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Look Into It. Tonight, my brother from another mother, the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Tripoli. How you doing, Sam?
Buddy, happy to be here. We're finally doing it. We've been talking about this episode for a long time, and here we are, excited to be with you. How are you, dude? I haven't seen you forever.
Yeah, everything's great except for that Myles Garrett trade.
Oh, what a day to do this on, huh? Your own 9/11.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, it's like with Trump and Iran. You know, the Andrew Barry, the general manager, they said they're not going to trade Myles. They're not going to trade him. They kept saying that over and over, despite all the rumors. And then, boom, they fucking traded him. God.
Unbelievable, bro. I mean, you got a decent player, but he's not Myles Garrett. Nobody's Myles Garrett. You got three decent picks for him. 1, 2, 1, 3 over the next 3 years.
Yeah, but that first round pick that we get from the Rams are probably going to end up like top 5 teams.
Winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it's like a second round pick, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I mean, this just says they don't have any faith in either of the quarterbacks they have right now, and they're just going for the one of these guys who are supposed to be great next year. And I'm telling you this right now, all the guys that they're labeling right now, they'll be fine, but the guy that will be the man will be the guy that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about. Whoever is going to be like the top dog is somebody nobody's talking about right now. That happened the last 2 years, Cam Ward, and then my boy, Fernando Mendoza, you know, so it's going to be somebody. I'm telling you, the guy to look at is that quarterback from USC, dude. That kid has had the most passing yards in the Big Ten. And nobody's talking about him, and he's in Riley. What's the guy who's the coach of USC? He put up the most yards in the Big Ten last year. He's the old UNLV quarterback who went to USC. He's going to crush it this year. Lincoln Riley, the coach, Lincoln Riley for USC.
Yeah, you know, I've never been a college football fan, but lately I've been paying attention, and slowly it's pulling me in. I like the playoffs now. See, I didn't like that shit with like Orange Bowl and fucking, you know, the Cotton Bowl and all that shit. Like, what does that really mean, those bowl games? But now they still have the bowl games, but now they have they're going to end up having a 16-team bracket, a playoff thing. I like that. That's interesting. I love anything 16-man bracket, whether it's jiu-jitsu, you know, football, because basically that's what the NFL is. The
problem with the old playoff system, it was 4 teams, and it was all like South teams, like everyone from the Southeast. So it was starting to become a regional sport, and nobody cared. So the numbers kept going down. You have to include as many people as possible in the playoffs to keep people excited. Some teams are just happy to make the playoffs. That's big for their team. So you got to have 16 so you can get like Bowling Green in there, maybe UNLV, San Jose State. You got to go for all over the country and get people interested so they're invested in the playoffs. Is because if it's just Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia, nobody's going to give it. And Ohio State, that was like the 4 that just kept making it every year. And it's very interesting because they had these these preseason polls, which are just basically gerrymandering. They're just basically setting up like, here's our power conferences. These are all the best teams. So they're automatically stacked into the playoffs. So it's really hard for a team that wasn't in the preseason poll to make it all the way to the top. It's really, really hard. So they should get rid of preseason polls, and they shouldn't do a poll to the until mid-season, and then you get who's really good and who's really bad.
It's because there's so many goddamn teams. What is there, like 80 to 100?
300 and something.
Yeah. So and there's probably like 100 teams that are, 10-1 or 9-1 or whatever. So you got to figure it out some way, right?
The SEC is just scrambling right now because they haven't won the last 3 years. And the problem is that their alumni isn't the richest people in the world. So they can't do this NIL like Ohio State can, Notre Dame can. I mean, dude, look at Vanderbilt, which is been a doormat in the SEC. Now both their football team and their basketball team were great last year. I mean, they were a doormat team. Now they got money. The Vanderbilts, they got tons of money, dude. They're like one of the 13 families almost, So it's crazy to watch. I have a dream of just making $1 gazillion and then just drop $100 million on UNLV so they can get the best players and just compete for championships. That's all I want to do.
And just have them put a tinfoil hat podcast.
Yeah, I just need a logo somewhere in the Raiders stadium.
Yeah, man, I'm slowly getting into college football now, and the draft is awesome. I love the draft. The last 2 drafts, I pay attention to football every day during the off season. I know people think football, that's like a Illuminati way to distract you and all. I'm like, I watch football to get distracted.
Yes.
I could only take so much of Trump, Iran,
yes,
Netanyahu, and,
yes,
and Ukraine, and fucking Kash Patel. And I could only take so much of that. I pay attention. I do pay attention. But man,
you need to turn your brain off once in a while.
Yeah, and that's what fucking.
Imagine saying that Sam Tripoli and Eddie Bravo aren't paying attention. We pay too much attention.
Yeah.
So we need to turn our brain off and just enjoy stupid sports.
Totally. That's what I do, man. That's why I'm into football. So it takes me away for a while. Every day I watch a football podcast. A few of them. You
got me last summer watching Cleveland Browns YouTube shows.
Are you paying attention now?
Yeah, well, yeah. Now I've been watching a lot of Raiders stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Raiders too. We've been talking about doing, and I know there's at this point, people watching the podcast are pissed off that we're talking about football, but this was supposed to be a football podcast, and it's supposed to not be called Look Into It. Maybe you look into football. Maybe you should look into some football.
Yeah, have a little fun in your life. Just want to fight lizard people all day. It's going to be boring. You'll get exhausted about life, dude. You just got to go out there and just turn your brain off occasionally and have a good time. You just got to do it, or else you're going to go nuts.
Yeah, Ian Carroll just put out a video, and he was talking about Owen Benjamin's appearance on Tucker Carlson.
It was great, dude. He crushed it.
And Ian Carroll, he came away saying, damn, I got to not pay that much attention to the bad shit. I got to start focusing on the good shit. You know what I mean?
100, or you'll go crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You'll go nuts.
Yeah.
If you don't.
I need football so fucking bad. You have no idea. And you know what? There's a lot of sports to choose from, and you could choose baseball. I like baseball because my son's into baseball. I watch his baseball games, but I don't follow baseball anymore. I did when I was a kid.
You got to follow Dodgers, dude. It's like the golden era. It's not going to last longer. They're going to have a strike next year. Listen, I love sports. Some people don't like baseball. They call it old man. Baseball to me is like grappling. If you don't know what you're looking at, you think it's boring. But if you know what you're looking at, you're like, wow, this is chess, bro. When Kamzat took on DDP and everyone's like, oh, you're just humping him. But if you understand grappling, you're like, that was a master class. That's baseball, dude. It's all chess. So I'm going to power rank my sports. My favorite team, Dodgers. My favorite sport, basketball. Then it's football, baseball. You like MMA. and I'm not even into hockey. It's just too many. But that's the four sports I enjoy. I like, and the thing about me, and it kind of different than maybe you in terms of, I don't know what you think of the Browns owner, but all my teams have owners that want to win. They just, one's better than the other two at implementing it. Like the Dodgers are like assassins. Like they don't do anything wrong because they have so much money.
In baseball, there's no cap, right?
Yeah, there's about to be, though. They're about to strike next year, which is going to make summer boring as shit with no baseball.
Who's going to strike? What's the reason? Like the cap, or like
because the owners want a cap.
The owners want a cap.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are just outspending everybody.
So players like no caps.
No cap.
Players like no cap.
So what the owners are proposing is a number which isn't going to be it. That's just their first. That's their first move in negotiation. But they've also wanted to they're also going to implement a floor, meaning that they got to spend at least this much money. Yeah, because they don't have that. And you got like the Pirates paying like minimum wage to their baseball players. Why, the Dodgers are like, I mean, dude, they don't actually have to pay Ohtani any real money for like 10 years, dude. Like 15 years from now. He's only making $2 million a year.
What? How is that deal, man?
They deferred all their money, dude. It's so crazy.
We'll give you $200 million, but we can't do it for 20 years.
Well, because Ohtani goes, listen, defer my money, pay me $2 million, and just sign players. And he said that to the Angels, and they were like, nah. And Dodgers like, let's go, bro. They've already made They've already made all their money back. They've already made all the money.
So he said, you don't pay me like the minimum. Sign a bunch of other players, and then all that money that you should have paid me, pay me in 10 years.
Yeah, 10, 15 years from now.
Wow.
They've done that with two players now.
Dude, that's crazy. Because that's a crazy pitcher, Yamamoto or something, right?
Oh, yeah. Do you know why Yamamoto can pitch so long, so well? Because he doesn't throw it in a traditional pitcher's throw. He throws it like a javelin, dude. He learned how to throw a ball like a javelin, which uses different muscles, which means he doesn't tire as much. That's why he can, like in the World Series, he just pitched a million innings because his arm doesn't get tired.
Yeah. I was really into baseball as a kid. I was really into basketball, even in my 20s. I ordered NBA ticket in my 20s while I was a strip club DJ. And I was into everything Cleveland. So if you're going to watch a Cleveland Cavaliers game during the week, in LA, it's going to be at 4:30 because on the East Coast, it's 7:30. So I was like spending between 4:30 and like 7. I was just watching fucking the Cavs back when Sean Kemp was on the Cavs. And then once I started smoking weed in 98, that's when I said, what the fuck am I doing wasting my time watching basketball and baseball? I kept football. I'm not going to give up football because football is like team jiu-jitsu. It's the same strategy because in jiu-jitsu, the guy on his back is technically on defense. He can still score though. He can still hit some pick sixes, and a pick six in jiu-jitsu is like an arm bar or a triangle from the bottom. So you could still score from the bottom. It's not as easy as scoring from the top when you're past the guard and you're mounted. Right. And you take the back, but it's the same thing. So the guy on top has the ball. The guy on the bottom is playing defense. And the guy on top, once, he's an open guard, he's like on his own 20. Once he passes that top half, damn, he's on like the 45, his own 45. And then once he passes the guard, man, he's like his opponent's like 30-yard line. Then once you mount, you're in the red zone. Then when you take the back, it's first and goal. It's the same thing. So if you're on the bottom, and you throw up an arm bar, that's a pick six. If you throw up a triangle, that's a pick six. If you sweep and get on top, that's a fumble recovery right there.
I'm with you, dude. I love it.
It's very much like jiu-jitsu is very much like football, except football, it's 100 times more complicated. There's 11 players on offense, 11 players on defense. Each player's got his own fucking mission. No two players have the same mission. And each fucking side of the ball got like fucking 20 coaches. You got your O-line coach. You got your O-line assistant coaches. You got your wide receiver coach. Your running back coach. You got your passing coach.
You got your special teams coach.
Dude,
who deals with kickoffs and field goals.
Dude, there's so much involved in football. It's jiu-jitsu times 100. It's the same, like I just explained. It's the same thing. You got to get into scoring position. You got to pass the guard. You got to get first downs. You got to mount. You got to get in the red zone. You got to get, first and goal. You're on the back. It's the same. It's the same concept. You got to get in scoring position. And when you get a touchdown, that's a submission. But the difference is football is just like fucking $1 trillion sport, and there's so much involved in every day. Even in football in the off season, people are watching and taping and analyzing practice.
Yes,
they're analyzing fucking playing catch.
Yep.
QB trackers in the off season.
Yeah,
and once the Super Bowl hits and it's done, and now we're in the off season, the first thing you look forward to is the draft. The draft is huge. That's off season. And then, dude, they had the draft in Pittsburgh. Dude, they had fucking 300,000 fucking people there.
That's insane, dude.
It was insane. Did you see all the people?
Yeah, they were bragging about Kanye had 118,000 people at a show. I'm like, the NFL draft had 3 times that.
Yeah. How crazy.
That's how big it is.
It's like it butt fucked Woodstock in the mouth twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just the draft, dude. That's just the draft.
You know what it is about football? It's like a limited amount of games too. And there's only 3 nights to watch it. The problem with baseball, the problem with basketball is like there's so many games every night. If you miss 1 or 2, you're okay. But in the NFL, every game's important. Every game is important.
Oh my God, it's so huge. Like, listen, man, I'm in the martial arts world. I teach jiu-jitsu. I was obsessed with the UFC, but over the last few years, I haven't been paying attention as much as I used to. So these cards that come out, like there was a card Saturday, and I'm like, who the fuck is on this card? And they're great fighters.
100%.
I lost track.
It is, in my opinion, and I'm a huge Dana White fan. Obviously, I met him a couple times. He's really kind to me, but it's a marketing thing. And you see this in comedy too, where some of these comedy clubs don't market who's there that weekend, and they think it's like the job of the comedians. And I'm like, you're making more money than anybody else is. So, unless you're like a Rogan that's selling out 5 shows, and he might make the most, but you should, the clubs that are good, like the Comedy Vault in Batavia, she's really good at advertising. So that's my problem with the UFC right now is they're not really advertising, like promoting these guys right. And doesn't it seem like the UFC is somewhat moved out of their outlaw phase, and it's more like controlled. Like it's like everyone's worried about getting canceled. That's why everyone loves Sean Strickland, because he says the craziest shit possible, everyone loves that shit.
I did hear something on the inside that, and this might not be inside at all, really, but one of the dilemmas that the UFC has to deal with is there's just not as many American superstars anymore. All the best fighters are from obscure countries. They can't speak English. We don't know their personality. And the only American star right now is Sean Strickland. He's the only one. Who else is there?
Yeah, that is a problem too. But I also think because of cancel culture, everyone's really scared of anybody who says anything. You think about the best whoever did it was like Conor McGregor, who said the most fucked up shit. Yeah. And it's like, these guys are outlaws. You got to let them be outlaws. You can't apply like corporation rules to a bunch of guys who want to go in there and murder each other. You got to let them be crazy. That's a big problem right now. There's just no crazy guys. You need crazy dudes, man. You're lucky if you're great at mixed martial arts, but you also have to be able to sell a fight and talk a lot of shit and be a little crazy. And these guys can't worry about getting canceled. That's my biggest problem. Is like I think they're just afraid they're going to get canceled, and UFC is like, don't worry about it. Just sell the freaking fight. Say the most unholy shit you can. Get people interested, and that's why people watch Sean Strickland fight. The shit he said to Khamzat was just completely out of bounds, but it made the fight huge. Even though the fight, I didn't think it was as great as everyone's making it out to be, but everyone tuned in to see if he could stop Khamzat's shots. And I think that's what we missed from like Chuck Liddell. Like he was an outlaw, dude. Like he's doing ecstasy 2 days before a fight. Like Vanderlei Silva and Pride just tweaking his balls off. We need that shit. You got to bring it back, dude. You got to let outlaws be outlaws. I think that's the biggest problem, is that they're just not marketing it correct.
Yeah, and the cool thing, one of the coolest things about the UFC and MMA in general is like it's the last. Really all sports, but like the UFC especially more than football is like the international flavor of the UFC is so strong that it's the last business, it's the last community that would ever think about like DEI shit.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine like there was this DEI agency.
You can't hide them, dude.
Yeah, they're like, we need more Mexicans in the UFC. We need more black people in the UFC. It's like there's no fucking need. The UFC is all about the best fighters. Don't matter if you're from the Congo or if you're from Vietnam or fucking Paraguay. It doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is that you get in the cage and you win. And it does not matter where you're from. And that's like the last place.
It's a meritocracy, dude. It's like Paddy Pimblett. Everybody, like, I think he's a great fighter, but he kind of got exposed in his last fight. And like, you can promote a guy, but eventually he's going to have to show it against these all world fighters, dude. And you think about it, like how good you have to be great in the UFC. You have to be like great at everything and world class at something. World class, striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Yeah. It's really hard to get there. How many of those guys are on planet Earth?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, especially with jiu-jitsu. Once you get in the UFC and once you're famous, you don't see the development of jiu-jitsu in UFC fighters once they're in the UFC. And by that, I mean before you were in the jiu-jitsu, Marcelo Garcia, you know Marcelo Garcia, right?
Yeah.
He was the first guy in the 2000s he had a school, and if anybody wanted to come roll with him, he was the best guy in the world. He fucked everybody up. So what he did is anybody that came to his school and wanted to roll with him, he videotaped it and put it on the internet. So you want to come and fucking test me? I'm going to shred you and I'm going to put it on the internet. He was the first one to really do that. You know what I mean? I started doing that too, but Marcelo was the first one. He did it to me.
It's kind of like before the tap me for $100 stuff that was like is big.
You
now,
want to come and challenge me? I'm gonna fuck you up and everyone's gonna see it. And he did it to me too. But he was really nice to me. He was like, he went light with me. He didn't go hard with me. So he didn't tap me, but he could have anytime he wanted. But he didn't. He was nice to me because I'm like his biggest fan and I've always promoted him. So he felt like, I don't want to embarrass this guy.
It's kind of like me with hecklers. Like if you want to heckle me, I'm going to light you the fuck up.
Stem cells, they could do some wild shit down there.
You know, I got the stem cells in my shoulder. My shoulder was jacked. I went down there, worked, man.
Eric Anders' neck was up, and then he went down and got stem cell treatment. Now it doesn't bother him at all anymore.
I definitely recommend CPI. It's changed my life. The best stem cell clinic in the world.
I just come and I do stem cells to make sure that I'm resetting my body and staying healthy.
It regenerates tissue, reduces inflammation. The results are amazing.
CPI stem cells is where you want to go. There's no other place in town. They do the best work in the world. I feel incredible.
If there's anything causing you to not live the quality of life that you like, then this investment is more than worth it.
When it comes to the science of stem cells, no one comes close to CPI. There's not even a close second.
For a free doctor call to see if stem cells is the right option for you, visit us at cpistemcells.com.
And it's going on the internet. I just had an old man come on stage and try to fight me. It was really funny, dude. It was like,
what was that?
He was like literally Thursday night. You can see it on my Instagram.
I'm like, dude, I don't want to fight no person. Guys, you gotta give it up for me. Give it up for me. I think jiu-jitsu, I think I didn't do anything. I mean, dude. Should I go Sparta? Boom! Sparta! Boom! That is how wound up people. Boom! Are words that dangerous? Dangerous?
This like 80-year-old guy got really mad at me because I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but like all the Indians from India, they're all the call center scammers. I'm like, they're scumbags. And then they move here, and by the next generation, they're all wiggers, dude. They're all like, they all just want to be SoundCloud rappers and date white chicks. And I love them, dude. I got a lot of good friends who are Indians, dude. I don't know. That just pissed. And I was talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and he just did not enjoy it. And he just got up and wanted to fight me.
And that's like, that's on the internet. You put it
yeah,
up?
you can go on my Instagram and see. It's really funny, dude.
Okay, I'll have Hibbler put that up.
Hibbler,
he's not here right now.
I love him. My daughter came home, and just out of nowhere, she started going. Listen, everyone's like, "Oh, these people these kids on their pads, they're idiots, dude." And I'm like, I don't know, dude. My daughter's vocabulary is insane for 6 years old. Insane, dude. And she came home, Eddie, you're gonna love this. She literally goes to me, do we live on a ball or do we live in a puddle?
Whoa.
At 6. And I go, in this house, it's a puddle. In school, it's a ball. Okay. Don't worry. I don't want you to be the weird kid, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, even 6-year-olds are figuring it out now.
Yeah, dude, isn't that crazy, dude? At 6 years old,
wow.
She's asking me all this crazy stuff already, and it's pretty cool watching her become who she is. But Dana was like blown away, dude. She's like, "Oh my god, she just asked that." I go, "Yeah, dude, she knows who her dad is."
It's
6.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. My son's 14 now, and he's like basically a grown man. He's just as tall as me, and he just hangs out with his friends.
Good-looking kid, dude. Good-looking kid. Stunner, dude. Stunner.
Back to Marcelo Garcia. My point with him is in regards to the UFC and jiu-jitsu in the UFC. And this is what's going on. Jiu-jitsu in the UFC is generally overall stagnant. It's not growing. It's not evolving. There's no UFC fight. Maybe there's a couple, but overall, 90% of UFC fighters, you don't see an evolution of their jiu-jitsu like you did with Marcelo Garcia. Marcelo Garcia put all his roles and he had instructionals all online for in the first 10 years you saw it. And you saw like the new shit he was adding to his game. Like, what's the latest shit Marcelo's adding to the game? In the beginning, it was like all arm drags to the back. And then he put out instructionals on the back. He fucked everybody online. They came through and rolled at them on his back. Then he got into north-south chokes and like, damn, what's Marcelo getting into? Now you're seeing is getting into north-south choke because he was like practicing and drilling new shit. And then he got into the crucifix choke. Like, ooh, that's his new shit. Crucifix, damn. So you saw like a progression of his growth. And that's what jiu-jitsu is supposed to look like. If you are training properly, if you are spending time drilling techniques that are not in your game that you want in your game. The only way you're going to get new game, and there's so much game in jiu-jitsu, there's endless game. There's game all over the place. If you want new game, a new piece of game, you have to practice it like you want it. It's not going to come up on its own. It's not going to come up in sparring. It's not going to pop up.
You got to drill.
You have to drill it. It's like if you're not drilling, if you're not practicing, you're not going to get new game into your arsenal.
You could say that about stand-up too.
If you just spar, you're going to get better at your existing game. So a lot of guys are out there going, dude, I never drill. I just spar and I'm fine. I'm pretty damn good. I'm badass. Yeah, you're getting better at the game that you already have, but you're not adding any new game. The only way you add new game is you got to practice first. And then once you practice it enough, then it starts leaking into your sparring. It's just like language. Like my mom has been living in the United States for 55 years, but she never drilled English. She just sparred English. Her English is the same as it's been for 50 years because she sparred it. She didn't actually sit down 30 minutes a day and work on her phonetics or whatever the fuck they call it. And like my guitar playing, I've been playing guitar for 40 fucking years.
And you're great at it, dude.
No, I'm not. Like this is the truth.
I think you're
play
great.
The same guitar. I never got any better. I got to a certain level, and that's it. Because I only spar. I only play songs. I only like jam. I don't ever like practice scales for 30 minutes a day. That's the difference between like Ace Frehley from Kiss and a virtuoso guitar player. Is the virtuoso guitar player like Yngwie Malmsteen? They practice scales like fucking all day. And then they add new fucking scales and new arpeggios.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
And Ace Frehley just fucking plays songs and he just spars and he just jams. So if you're just sparring, and that's what this, to my point, that's the problem with a large percentage of UFC fighters. They just spar jiu-jitsu. They don't really spend time drilling strategically to add offensive game to their arsenal. I never seen it. I know a lot of UFC. I've trained a lot of UFC fighters. I have. I don't really see it. The most UFC fighters, they're spending all their time working on striking and wrestling. Like that's the first battle is the first battle, striking and then wrestling and then striking and then wrestling. Jiu-jitsu might not even come up if the fight never hits the ground. And these days in the UFC with these 5-minute rounds, there's not that much jiu-jitsu. There's not that much. So when you're training to be a UFC fighter, it's in your best interest because of the 5-minute rounds and the way that the sport is formatted. You don't have to really work on jiu-jitsu that much. You just spend your time striking and wrestling jiu-jitsu a little bit. So they just spar their jiu-jitsu, and they're so tired anyways with the fucking weight cut and all that shit. You don't really see what you saw with Marcelo Garcia. You saw an evolution of his jiu-jitsu grow and new parts of the game blossom. But you don't see that in the UFC. You just don't. Because once you're in the UFC, damn, you're not spending that much time with drilling jiu-jitsu in regards to adding new game to your arsenal. So
don't you find that's also when people come in as strikers, it's hard for them to get tapped. They don't want to get tapped because their ego, so they never work as much on their ground game as they should. That's
always been the case.
Yeah, I think that's totally it. Now, if you look at stand up, I mean, it's the exact same thing. It's like I remember at one point, I remember watching Ari Shaffir going, "Wow, this guy's a really great storyteller. I really love his stories." And I'm like, and then I realized that storytelling is the greatest form of stand-up comedy. The worst form is crowd work. Now, there's guys who are great at crowd work, and like the real great ones, you don't even know when it's crowd work and when they're doing like jokes like Big J and Ian Bagg and Steph Tolev. Like these guys are like, and one's a chick. I mean, they're just masters of it. So that's great, you know. But
crowd work. You're talking about crowd work.
Crowd work.
Russell
dude.
Peters is pretty damn good at crowd.
Yeah, Russell's great too. Like those who are great at it are next level great at it. You know, but you know, in terms of like the greatest form of the art, it's storytelling. And you know, you got to go through it to get to it, dude. Like I remember, like I just started like eating it, trying to tell these stories until I could master how I particularly tell stories, which was take every aspect of it, break it down into its own joke, and then put a series of jokes telling this story. And it just took time, dude. It just took time. And I just feel like in the UFC, it's like they're so like once you're at the UFC, and if you get a little heat going, there's so much chaos around you that they don't want to sit down and like, what's the weak part of my game? And it's like, Alex Pereira is like one of the greatest strikers of all time. Is he working on his ground game? Maybe he is. I think he's a very special fighter, but that's the weak part of his game. Whenever they talk, if he takes on a wrestler, he's in trouble. Is he working on his jiu-jitsu? Can Alex Pereira, who is a knockout artist, get tapped? And I feel like that's a ego thing right there. I mean, like, obviously I'm 53 doing jujitsu. I can't even call myself a hobbyist. I'm trying my hardest, but I'm 53. But it's like I remember when I started a couple of years ago, I was just like, dude, kill the ego. You're gonna get tapped. Just enjoy the journey and try to learn from it every day. And maybe if one day you didn't get tapped that day, maybe that's a win. And then maybe if you somehow tap a guy somehow, that's a win, so you just got to kind of take these moments and these building blocks, but it takes killing your ego, dude. It takes
absolutely
killing your ego.
Because what happens is if you get to the UFC and you didn't train your jiu-jitsu properly, you're never going to get good at jiu-jitsu because you're famous now. And now you're a famous UFC fighter who has jiu-jitsu that needs to be worked on. And now when you go to a jiu-jitsu school, all these blue belts are going to want to tap out this famous UFC fighter, and the UFC fighter this famous guy don't want to get tapped out by blue belts. That's the problem. So you have to get your jiu-jitsu together before you get to the UFC, before you're famous. Because once you're famous, generally the jiu-jitsu plateaus because now you're famous. And now you don't want to get tapped by these.
Same thing in stand-up, dude.
Yeah.
I see it happen every freaking time. Someone blows up on social media. They go right to theaters. They go right to selling out. Once you're selling out, you're not learning anymore, dude. You're just who you are, and your fans are going to laugh at whatever you want. It's like, God bless. If you got to selling out a theater, God bless you. God bless you. It's a blessing to have that. But you're never going to become the comic you could have been if you went through the wars early. Like, I remember, dude, when I first moved to LA, I would always hear stories about how, like, New York comics get up like 5 times a night. And I'm like, I got to do that. So I would take any gig that got thrown my way, bar gigs. I would go deep in the hood and play urban rooms. I would go to rooms where, like, black comics wouldn't go. They're like, I'm not going out there. Fuck that. And I'm like, I need stage time, dude. I'm going, dude. So I would go out to Mix Nuts when they moved deeper in the hood, like anywhere to get stage time. And then if I bombed in a room, I would be like, book me again until I broke that room, dude. And you just gotta have to go through it. So now it's very weird, dude. I've been doing comedy for 32 years. Almost in November will be 33. And it's very weird to me because I am, finally, like, this is going to sound nuts. Like, I was always great. I'm not saying that egotistically, but I was always good at it, even from the start. But, like, to really get comfortable, I'm going to be honest with you, I finally got there where it's like, I don't care who I'm following. It took me a long time, even though, like, when I got picked up at the store, I followed Eddie Griffin, Dice, Rogan, Brian Holtzman every night. That's who I had to follow, and I had to learn how to survive doing that.
For all your 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu merchandise, please visit 10thplanetjj.com/shop. We also got a Look Into It t-shirt that just dropped. Thank you very much for your support.
That also brought in a little trauma, right? Like, you're like, fuck, I got to walk into this. This house is on fire, dude. It's on fire. I got to put out these fires or else everyone's going to walk out. So there's a little trauma inducing in that, a little anxiety. But finally, I'm like, I don't care who I'm following. Like, they always put me after the hard guy at the Comedy Store, this young kid who's just popping. That's who I got to follow. And I'm fine with it. I've been doing it forever. And I just shot my new special in Austin. It's going to be called I Love You Sincerely, Sam Tripoli. And I go hard in the paint. And I'm very excited for everybody to see it. But it took a long time to get there, dude. It took a long time to get there. So I understand what you're saying. Like, you have to be able to kill your ego to get great at anything. You have to have an ego death.
It's tough in jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu is the only martial art where there's every night when you train, There's winning and losing. In karate, taekwondo, boxing, all the other martial arts, all the other stand-up striking martial arts, there's no winners and no losing because you're not really sparring. If you spar, it's light. It's not 100%. Nobody's getting knocked out. There's no winning or losing. Jiu-jitsu, there's winning and losing. And when you start jiu-jitsu, you're losing all the time. That's the filter. That's the filter. That's what keeps everybody out. Most people don't want to walk through the fire, and they think, oh, I'm new at jiu-jitsu, I'm going to try it out. And it's like a big win just to even walk into jiu-jitsu school because most people won't even walk in. They won't even walk in. They think it's, oh my God, I'm going to be humiliated. Oh my God, all these tough tattooed guys are going to fucking strangle me, and then they're going to make fun of me, and then they're going to laugh at me. Meanwhile, nothing could be further from the truth.
100%, dude.
Yeah, like everybody that walks in that's new, everybody that's been there for a few years, they're like, oh, he's a new guy. I used to be that new guy. Nobody's laughing at you. They're like, oh, that's the new guy. He's eventually going to get good. No one's laughing. Like, oh, look at him, dude. He sucks. He's been training 2 days and he sucks. Oh,
yeah.
Nobody.
I always say the best sparring is jiu-jitsu. I've done Thai boxing, Krav Maga.
Yeah, there's 100%
JKD.
sparring. And jiu-jitsu is the only sport that has 100% sparring with winning and losing. And you do it every night. So, man, you got to have your ego intact. And generally, the people that stay in jiu-jitsu, for the most part, I would say 90% of people that stay in jiu-jitsu are fucking pussies, and myself included. I've always been a big pussy. I've always been the biggest pussy that I've known. Everybody knew me as a pussy. Everybody, all my family members and all my friends I grew up with, I was the one that would cry out of everything. I was 17 years old, had a car. I bought a car at 16. My mom blew her fucking top, but I said, fuck it. I bought a car, had a Pinto station wagon, and we went, me and my buddy Willie, who was a stoner, and I didn't smoke any weed. I didn't smoke any weed. I was against it, but I did drink, but I only drank wine coolers. I was the one kid, you know. There's a group of kids, and we got to find like some 21-year-old dude to buy beer. And we're like, we got to buy beer, and you're like, what do you want? Let's get a 24 pack, and then my uncle's gonna buy it for us. We got to get the money together. But I was always like, make sure he gets a 4-pack of Zimas or a 4-pack of fucking Seagram's wine coolers. I was the pussy, and dude, I would cry myself out of tickets and shit. One time we went to a party, 17 years old, in my Pinto station wagon, and I had a wine cooler and like some kind of like jug, like a sports jug thing in my car. We were at a party. The cops broke it up. So me and Willie walked out to my car to drive away. And right when I got in my car, fucking cops knocked on the window. We rolled down the window, and I'm like, fuck, I was freaking the fuck out. And he said, open up that ashtray. And I opened up the ashtray, and I was so retarded when it came to weed. I didn't even know what weed looked like. To this day, I don't know what it was, but it was like some tobacco weird shit. And he goes, what's that? The cop goes, what's that? And I go, and the guy sitting shotgun, Willie, my friend, he was a stoner. I'm like, it's marijuana. He smokes it. He smokes it. And then the cop was like, what? The cop knew it wasn't weed. And Willie's like, what are you talking about? Why are you throwing me under the, like, and I was like, I just started crying and shit. They pulled me out of the car, and it wasn't weed. They're like, this kid is retarded.
I was a retard.
They sat down on the curb while they went through my car, and they go, what's this? I go, it's wine coolers. It's wine coolers. And they were like, oh shit, dude, I was crying. And Willie wasn't crying. Willie was like, I was crying. I'm like sitting on the curb, and they're like, fucking, and then they said, listen, get in your car and drive home right now is in a straight line. And I got in the car, fucking drove away. They let me go because I was such a pussy that they let me go. I was like wiping my tears.
What was Willie saying on the drive home?
I was like, dude, on the drive home, I was like, I did it. Like I pulled it off. Like, fuck yeah. I pretended I was a pussy to get out of it. We got out of it, didn't we? We got out of it, didn't we? Meanwhile, I was a pussy. I was like, I cry at the fucking night. I went to Hangover 4 and cried. You know what I mean? Hangover 4, I started crying like a big fucking pussy.
I tell this story on stage. It's in my next special about when I was really young. I got hired to host a bikini contest at the Key Club, and they paid me in drink tickets. And I was like the worst drunk at that point. Like I'm convinced that they started charging comics for drinks because of me. I was just like setting high scores. Like I'd have to have a couple shots of Jack just to get going at the Comedy Store. So I get hired. They're paying me in drink tickets. I'm blackout drunk. it's a bikini contest, and it's like 5 smoke shows, 1 like cute chick, and the cute chick knows she's in trouble, so she walks out and pulls her pants down, shows everybody her magic, right? Place goes nuts. The owner's like, here's the winner. I don't even read it. I'm just like, the chick who showed her snatch. The whole place goes fucking nuts, right? So the owner's like, you got it wrong. I'm like, I got it right, dude. And he grabbed me and threw me out. So I'm basically blackout drunk at this point. I walk to my car, get my car. I drive 10 feet. I get pulled over by the cops. I'm like, I'm going to jail, dude. I'm done. And so they go, get out of the car. And I get out of the car and I walk around. And they're going, so what goes on? What were you getting into tonight? So I tell them the story. I'm like, I hosted this bikini contest. The chick showed her snatch and she didn't win. And they're like, she showed her snatch and she didn't win. I go, she didn't win. They go, that sounds like communism. I go, 100% in America, dude. Hand to God, dude. They're like, get back in your car. So I get back in my car and they gave me a police escort back to my house.
Dude.
That's a real story, dude. I was a wild person back then. We used to, dude, I remember, man, when my buddy first got his car, dude, we would just, because we lived in the country, dude, we would just drive through these fields. And he just got he just got his dad's car and he's way ahead of me. I'm in the dust. I can't see anything. I come around the turn. Dude, he had flipped his car. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? We ran up there all just staring in shock because they just flipped his car. It's like we were wild people back in the day, dude. Just wild fucking people, dude.
That was back in upstate New York?
Upstate New York, dude, in the country, dude.
What was your move to LA? Do you remember telling your mom I'm going to LA? What was it that finally made you make the move?
So I wanted to be a comic since I knew I existed in the universe.
You went to Vegas first.
I was in Vegas first. I basically created the Las Vegas comedy scene. When I showed up there was one open mic every other week. There were no open mics in Vegas. It was like really crazy. So I started doing shows every night, and I peaked with my own improv troupe in a bunch of casinos. I had my own show at what was called the Holiday Inn Boardwalk, and then I got the host for who was it, dude? Nick DiPaolo. And so I'm like, I'm done here. So I drove out to LA, and the rest, I got picked up at all the comedy clubs, and it was just been chaos ever since, dude. And this is how much the LA Laugh Factory open mic, how good it was. We used to drive in from Vegas to do 3 minutes. And just because you can get in front of a real crowd, because we were all bar comics, dude. Like we would take the craziest gigs. I show up to a place and I'd be like, "Can we do comedy?" Or we're like, "Well, we do bands this night. You want to go in between the bands?" Which is Vietnam for comedy, to follow bands and then do stand up.
Yeah.
So I would just walk up, and because I was great at heckle killing, dude. Great at killing hecklers. And so, like, I just walk up and I just start taking out all the hecklers. Bang, 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 bang. Get everybody quiet. Then when they were quiet, I'd bring all my friends up to do stand-up. Because in high school, dude, me and my buddies, we stopped fighting with each other. Because, like, my friends were the first generation of divorce. Like, all their parents got divorced and it kind of fucked their heads up, right? So we stopped fighting. We started verbally annihilating each other. Like, we would go to this pizza shop, and if you sat in this one position in the booth, you would just get fucking murdered, bro. Verbally just annihilated, and you just learned how to get fast at it. So then I go to college, and I'm in a fraternity. They called it the Tripoli low blow, where they would like try to be like verbally sparring with me, and then I would just kneecap them, dude. Bang, and it was done. So one day, the first time I ever killed a heckler, I remember I just did a show at UNLV, and I bombed, bro. I bombed hard, and I was pissed. And this guy from New York was like, "Hey, dude, there's another open mic tonight. You should go do it." And I'm like, "You could do 2 shows in a day? I didn't even know you could do that." I was like blown away. So I show up, and it's like Goodnight Charlie's or something like that. So we go there, and like I'm doing stand up, and this like really fucked up tooth mechanic comes up and just starts heckling me, dude. And I like assassinated this dude. I just assassinated him, and I felt like Neo from the Matrix, dude. I was like, zing, 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 zing. And I'm like, oh, this is what I can do. I've been doing this my whole life. I just start killing hecklers. And so, so then I get picked up at the Comedy Store, and like, there's like a graveyard of hecklers I've murdered at the Comedy Store that are buried in the backyard. And it's just like, it's really crazy how the stuff that traumatizes you as a kid becomes like almost your superpower later on in life. Like you don't realize it till later how it like really helps you. And that's just, I've always been great at killing hecklers, dude. I mean, it's just.
When did you figure out you wanted to do comedy? Were you in New York, or was it after you got to Vegas?
Hand to God, I wanted to do stand up before I knew there was stand up. Like I just wanted to make people laugh.
How old were you?
Dude, I mean, I had to be like 3, like before I even knew that was something. And then I got funniest guy in 6th grade. And then I went to high school, and with the sole purpose of winning funniest guy in 12th grade. And I spent the next 6 years just working on that goal of being funniest guy in school. And then I got that too. So that's all I like, dude.
How did that transition to your first? Take me to your first night of doing stand-up. How did that happen?
So I want to do stand-up. I'm trying to figure out where I should go. My father's running psyops on me that I should move to Vegas because he wanted to buy a house there so he could fly out there and write off on his taxes because he wanted to gamble. Like there weren't
at this point, what comedians were you into? Were you into like stand-up comedy? Were you a big fan?
Oh yeah, dude. I loved Dice. I loved Sam Kennison, Eddie Murphy. I hadn't discovered Bill Hicks yet. I was watching all the old guys. Anything I could watch on stand-up on television, I would watch it. I just wanted to be a stand-up comic. I just wanted to be a funny person. And so I was trying to think about where I should go. I was thinking about all these places. I got accepted, I think, at Florida State. I got accepted to, but like, because of like the Rat Pack and all that stuff, I thought Vegas is where I got to go. And it was a blessing that I went to Vegas because it was like an isolated island at that time. And I was such a young idiot. Like I was just my dad. I was my dad. My dad didn't play well with others. I wasn't playing well with others. So like I could get that out of my system and not burn a lot of bridges. So I went out there and I just started the comedy scene. I was a bar comic, dude. I was like Mark Ellis used to call me the greatest bar gig comic of all time. I could just perform under crazy circumstances. So my dad convinces me I should go to Vegas because he wants to buy a house. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to Vegas. Tarkanian's the coach of the UNLV Running Rebels. I'm Armenian. I'll go to UNLV. And I went to UNLV and it was chaos, dude. It was the best time ever. I mean,
how many years did it last? How many years?
I went to college there. I started stand up maybe my 2nd year. And it's very interesting because I was at college and I saw a class for improv comedy and I didn't know the difference between improv or stand up. So I was like, I'm going to go do that, dude. I want to be a comedian. I'm going to do improv. And I show up and it wasn't improv. So I'm doing improv with these guys. And my friend Isaac comes up to me and he's like, hey, you should try stand-up. I go, what's that? He goes, I go, yeah, I thought this is stand-up. I thought this is stand-up. He goes, no, this is improv. You should go do stand-up. So I went and did stand-up. My first night, I crushed. The first joke I ever wrote in my life was about how women give hand jobs like they're starting lawnmowers. That was the first joke I ever wrote in my life. And then I crushed that night. And then the next night I did it. I remember I had to wait 2 weeks for another chance. I went up and I bombed, and I just was chasing that forever, dude. That kind of rush of that first show. So then, I'm like, okay, I did it. I did everything I could in Vegas, and then I decided to. And it was very weird because I met Nick DiPaolo, and I had known about Nick DiPaolo for a while, and he's the nicest guy you could ever meet, dude. The nicest guy. And it was like this thing I learned that like the really wild people on stage are the nicest people off stage. They kind of get their rage out on the stage and then they're chill off stage, right? Brian Holtzman, Rogan, Joey Diaz, Nick DiPaolo, Dave Attell, Doug Stanhope. Like nobody's better than Stanhope, dude. He's the nicest guy off stage because he's just a wild man on stage. So it's like he's like, yeah, you should go to LA. So I did it, and I went to LA, dude, and the rest is kind of history. And it was a crazy ass ride, dude. And then, tinfoil hat started. You were my first guest. And you're like, we should do stand-up, dude. We should do tinfoil hat comedy. And that kind of changed my life. And we've been doing it. I don't even know how long we've been doing it now.
Since
I mean, the show's
2007, almost 10 years.
Wow, dude. The show in December will be 10 years old. Can you believe that, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do, hey, the Raiders are playing in Cleveland November 29th. So November 28th, we got to do Hilarities or whatever that club is in Cleveland. November 28th, Hilarities. We go to sleep, wake up, and it's Browns Raiders in Cleveland.
Dude, it was so great when we went to the Raider game because I was so happy to be there. I got all this gear at the Raider game, and I was like actively rooting against the Raiders because I wanted the first pick because I wanted Mendoza.
Yeah.
And it's like that place was rocking, and the Raiders suck. Imagine what happens when we finally get good.
Yeah.
It's going to be fire, bro. It's going to be.
You got the quarterback now, and then you have Ashton Genty. You have the running back.
Genty. We got another guy, Williams, from in the draft.
With your wide receivers, though.
Yeah, I looked this up real quick.
Did you solve that problem?
No, we don't have we have good guys. We got a bunch of dudes. Hold on. So in the draft, we're very excited about a couple people. We got this kid, Malik Benson from wide receiver, who just takes the top off. We're very excited about our 4th round pick. He's he's this guy that tore his ACL. So he's supposed to go in the 1st round. But man, everyone's talking. I'm watching
wide receiver?
No, he's a cornerback, dude. Okay. And then we got this guy from here we go. We got this guy from a wide receiver. What is his name, dude? We got from here it is, dude. Jalen Naylor, dude, from Minneapolis, the Vikings. Everyone's super excited about him. Like, then we got the center for the Ravens, which no one can believe we got.
Yeah,
we overpaid for him.
That's
why they killed the Max Crosby deal. Because we robbed them of their center, and then we were going to take both of their the 2 first-round picks. They're like, fuck you, dude. You took our center, dude. We're going to kill this deal. And I'm glad we got Max.
Yeah. So Max is staying, and he's cool?
He's cool, dude. I mean, I'm cool with it, dude. I mean, like, I like Max. I mean, we're at different places, like where he wants to be and where we are, 2 kind of different places. But I'm excited for it. Listen, I have no expectation of the Raiders winning every game or even close to that. But as long as we have hope, dude, that's all Raider Nation wants is hope. We just need to go, hey, man, there's a little light at the end of this tunnel. And Mendoza is the man. Listen, a long time ago, I heard like Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter talk about like when the guys, like when the experts pick a prospect as can't miss, they ignore anything he does well and they just sing his praises. But when a prospect comes out of nowhere that they didn't see, they're super critical of him. And that is Mendoza. They're so hypercritical of this dude because he came from Indiana out of nowhere, dude. Yeah. Out of nowhere. And that's why I'm telling you that USC quarterback, that guy, watch that dude, man. He's legit. But if Archie Manning had the season that Fernando Mendoza had, they would be calling him the greatest college quarterback of all time because they've all been saying this guy's going to be the next great one. Mendoza came out of nowhere. They hate him. He had a perfect season. He did, and he's got magic, dude. It's those moments where you got to make magic happen. Some people have it. Some people don't. Mendoza has it. He did it Indiana versus Penn State where he was about to get sacked and he threw this touchdown pass so Indiana beat Penn State. And then that run in the championship game where he does a quarterback sneak and he gets hit 1 billion times and he still scores. Yeah. The guy's got magic, dude.
Yeah.
And it gives us hope, dude. Gives us hope.
I'm as far as the Browns are concerned, I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I know a lot of people have doubts, and I did it at first too, because he did, come out of college a little
cocky,
flashy. You know what I mean?
I told you that, dude. Warren Moon said the exact same thing I said. You can't have your quarterback talking like a cornerback. Cornerbacks have to be cocky because they're on an island. Yeah. Your quarterback is your CEO, dude. He has to be like the most like balanced, dude. He can't be talking that crazy. He's got to be balanced, dude. He's got to be a CEO, dude. He represents the organization. You don't want him talking smack like a cornerback. You don't. I know it's Sanders' kid, but you don't want your quarterback talking like Deion Sanders. But here's the thing about Sanders, your quarterback. If they get him a line, he's got a chance.
Yeah, it's a whole brand new offensive line. They really trying. They're trying as fuck. There's all new offensive linemen, and then we drafted 2 wide receivers in the draft. The first one was KC Concepcion. He was in the first round. And Denzel Boston, we got him in the second round, but he was projected to go in the first 2. So basically we got 2 first-round wide receivers.
I thought you guys had a great draft.
And then we still have Jerry Jeudy, and the whole offensive line is revamped, including our number 1 pick, Fano. And Spencer Fano, that was the number 1 guy picked on the offensive line.
I think you guys had a great draft, dude.
We did. We had a phenomenal draft. A lot of people think the Browns had the best draft in the league, or at least top 5. I think so too. Sucks that we're losing Miles. You know what I mean? Like I said at the top, it's like Trump going into Iran. Like he always said he was never gonna fuck with no Middle Eastern wars. And like, what do you think's gonna happen now? Like, where are we at with that shit? What's up with the negotiations? Are we gonna get boots on the ground? I'm barely paying attention to this shit.
Bro, you gotta hear the craziest shit, dude. They're proposing in the U.S. government to combine the U.S. military with Israel's military.
No way.
Yeah, dude, they're talking about that right now. Fuck. People are freaking the fuck out because those people want to put boots on the ground, but they don't want their own boots. They want our sons and daughters to go fight that shit. Listen, here's my opinion on Trump. And I was talking to somebody the other day about it. It's like, I think it's a heel turn, but also, dude, everything's being exposed. You say that a lot, but everything is exposed. Like, everyone understands the Zionist problem we have. Everybody understands the corruption shit. Everyone understands vaccines are dangerous. Like, it's really starting to open up, dude. It's really starting to open up. And whatever it did, whatever Trump meant to do it or didn't do it, we're there. People are more open-minded to what's going on than they ever. This isn't like necessarily a rah-rah Trump thing at all, but we are there. People are more open-minded to how bad it is, because I think it's got to get bad before it can get better. You got to wake people up. Yeah, and people are woken up to it. They're woken up to it.
I was on a train to San Diego because I went to Tijuana to get stem cells at CPI. And it's people don't know this, but there's actually a beach town in Tijuana. It's not all favela. A lot of it is favela, a lot of it's scary, but there's a really nice part to Tijuana, and that's where CPI is. It's really nice. I mean, the hotel we stay at, like you think you're in LA. You don't think you're in Tijuana. It's like the best fucking restaurants. It's crazy. There's a section of Tijuana that's awesome, and that's where CPI is. Cellular Performance Institute. They hooked my ass up. I took a train down there because I was like, I had to stay a week, and I didn't want to leave my car like in San Diego because the way they do it is it's expensive. It ain't cheap, but you stay there all week. You stay there Monday through Friday, and Sunday night you stay at a hotel. I think it's the Renaissance or the Sheraton in San Diego at the San Diego Harbor. Really nice. So Sunday night, you stay at the hotel in San Diego, and then Sunday morning at 7 a.m., they bring vans and they pick up all the people. So they pick everybody up on Monday. They pick up like 20 people. They drive them across the border in these special lanes. They take you right to your hotel. They check you in, and then you go to the institute, and boom, you start the process. You do like 4 or 5 days of treatment and stuff. But anyways, I decided to take a train, and dude, I was sitting next to this guy. This guy was so pro-Trump. He was like kind of homelessly, like he was like a homeless kind of dude on this train. Because on the train, it's kind of
wild, dude. It's on the train.
But this guy was like, he was on, there's people that think that whether Trump is doing it on purpose or not, there's some people that think he's doing it on purpose. Like the more he's involved in Netanyahu and the Zionists, the more people are exposed to it. So it's kind of like 5D chess. That's what they say. I don't know. But this homeless dude was saying, dude, do you know how the Chinese they send in like female honey potters, and they even marry U.S. politicians. And
dude, it's crazy.
Right? No, check it out. You know they do that. So we know, like Swalwell and all that shit. We know that the Russians probably do it. The Russians they raise like these female operatives, and they raise them on the English accent so they simulate.
Yep.
And you know that's true. The Chinese do it. They send in women.
Russians, Israelis do it. They all do it.
They have kids with them. They have families.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the whole time they were spies, right?
What I think is probably the best knee slice in the game. It's called a row drag. Super simple, awesome combo. Before we get to the truck, throw a little pass on top of that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get really good at that truck transition. How about you get really ninja with the row drag? The knee slice. Push him down, butterfly, boom, bam, boom. Here. 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 And then the fishnet, knee to the stomach, low the handle, break the frames, and then boom. Pull this out, grab my forearm, pop, pop. That's all the best shit from Twister Side Control right there in one flow. You guys want to go back and forth a little bit? Ready? Let's go.
This dude was telling me that, dude, this is gonna sound crazy. He's saying that this guy was insane. He was probably on fentanyl, but he's saying that Ivanka is running undercover. She married Jared Kushner she's doing the same thing that the Chinese are doing. I'm like, are you fucking insane? Are you fucking crazy? You know, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Because he was all saying, what do you think? You know, Trump's best friend was JFK Jr., and you know who killed JFK? Who killed JFK? What's all redacted in the files? Everybody knows what's up. JFK was against AIPAC. JFK was you know, and who do you think fucking was involved in killing JFK? I'm like, damn, I don't know. And he goes, you know, Trump is best friends with Michael Jackson. Who is he going after? Who do you think killed Michael Jackson? You don't think Trump knows what's going on? You don't think Trump knows what's going on? He sent his daughter in to infiltrate. To infiltrate the Israeli government. I'm like, yo, I never even thought of anything. Can you imagine that?
Dude, Melania is an MK Ultra sex kitten. They're all MK Ultra sex kittens, dude, at that level.
Yeah.
It's possible, dude. Listen,
dude, I thought, like, oh shit, that was a long train ride, dude. This guy was just in my ear, just all yipping and yapping. He said, dude, it's all getting exposed, and Trump's running.
It is, though. It is. I'm not saying Trump is a good guy. I'm not. It's just. It's more exposed than ever.
Once he started bombing Iran, I'm like, okay, we're fucked. We're fucked now.
Yeah, but dude, it's also like, there's this part of me that also thinks oligarchies help oligarchies. Like Andrew Tate was like, dude, they just bomb empty buildings. The only thing's real is Israel going after Palestine and going after Lebanon, because that fits into the greater Israel project. But everything else is like, I mean, like, dude, this war between Russia and the Ukraine, I think it's all, they're working together, dude. Do you know they've killed 1.5 million white Christians and nobody talks about it? And they want that to be the new Israel. There's greater Israel, there's new Israel, and then there's doing something in Argentina, dude. And I just think oligarchies help, because they want a one world government and everybody wants a seat there. Why wouldn't Iran want a seat there? Yeah. So, like, everyone plays together. That's what I think. We'll see. I could be wrong, and I have no problems with that. But
what's going on? What's going on with the Strait of Hormuz? Like, what is the purpose of the focus being on that strait? Is it that because you hear Trump saying, like 30 years ago on some interview, he's saying, if I was president, I'd invade Iran. He was talking about invading Iran. He goes, they shouldn't be controlling the Strait of Hormuz. That's international waters. Why are they controlling it? You know what I mean? Like, so he goes, like the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico don't control the Gulf of Mexico. That's why he's been like trolling and putting, like he'd be posting the Gulf of America. You know what I mean? Like he's going to change the name of that Gulf, like from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. He's trolling. He's like saying, like, that's international waters. Why does Iran control the Hormuz Strait when the UAE is right there too? They're on the other side of that strait. You go, how come they don't have the power? How come Iran's controlling everything? So some people think like they're trying to decentralize energy, and I don't even know what that means. But like that Iran has control of most of the world's energy, and by making the Strait of Hormuz international waters officially, like they don't have so much power. Or
Anything's possible, dude. I just had Greg Carwood on. He's talking like, dude, if this oil doesn't get through, this fucks food for 2026. That's the problem. It's not now. It's like later on. Even though they don't need it to make food, they forced it into there. So I'm in karate stance with my head on a swivel, dude. I would like to not go to war. I don't want to send our kids to die for Zionists. They're crazy people, dude. They're crazy, dude. I mean, if you read their text, they look at us like we're all cattle, dude. And nobody wants to talk about that because they don't want hurt feelings. But that's what you're up against, dude. And if you don't realize that, it's just you're gonna lose everything you love, dude.
Yeah, it seems like this whole Iran thing started 2-3 months ago, and is there going to be boots on the ground? Are we sending troops in or not? Like, how come it's taking so long to figure that shit out?
Well, because they didn't think it would take this long. They thought they could just do what they did to Iraq and Iran, but people have been saying forever. Iran has been waiting for this for 20 years, if we're going to say that all this shit's real. Iran's been waiting for this for 20 years, dude. They've been preparing this for 20 years. Dude, we ran out of weapons already, dude. Like, it takes 5.
That's what they say. But, like,
I don't know, man.
Like anything they say, like, I don't, like, right now, I'm not believing shit. Because
that's where
Trump's administration, they say we're whooping their ass. And then this other side says, oh, no, they've been preparing for 20 years. They got these drones that only cost $30,000. Our missiles cost $2 million. We're fucked. We're running out of missiles. Like, I don't know who the fuck to believe. Like,
yeah, it's done on purpose.
Like when you listen to like CNN or Fox, even like the opposite of CNN, what they're saying is like
that's done on purpose, so you don't know if you're coming or going.
And then you hear X-22 report, and according to X-22 report, it's the plan is still on. Like everything is going exactly as planned. And Trump is exposing everything. Trump is exposing the deep state. Trump's going to save the world. Like X-22 report, you want hopium? You want to feel good about what's going on? You listen to that shit. You listen. It's like totally different than what the rest of the world is saying. It's so crazy. I don't know who to believe. I don't know what the fuck's going on. When you see Trump with the yarmulke and he's kissing the wall and he's surrounding himself by Zionists and everybody in his cabinet is like the donors that are giving him all this money, like, dude, this is not looking good, man. We're probably fucked here because we can't change the world without like a leader, a president, right? Because back in the day, back when everyone was like in the queue, remember that shit? And then once Biden won, some say he cheated and won. I think there was a lot of fucking rigging going on, but regardless, everybody jumped off the Q ship, right? That's been like 6 years now, 5-6 years that everybody just jump ship. They're like, oh, Q is a psyop, and it's like a Bolshevik psyop thing and all that. And it was designed to keep us complacent and to rely on a savior. So they go, that was the whole thing. That's why they do it. So they get everyone, like, they give everyone hope, and then no one does anything. Everyone just stays at home and does nothing while we wait for a savior to fix everything. Like, that's the psyop. The psyop is, oh shit, we fucked up. We stayed home. We didn't do anything, and, we're like waiting on a savior, the Q said, or this Bolshevik psyop that has been done before, like trust, like, there was like,
dude, I got to tell you this crazy thing.
But it's been 5-6 years. since you jumped off Q? Why did you do it? Why? No, not you. I'm not talking about you. Like the people that did jump off it. Now, okay, now that you know you've been psyoped, now get off your butt and do something. Like, what's going on? Like now you understand that it was a psyop. Now let's do something. Like why aren't we doing anything?
Well, I'm going to say this to you, dude. The Bank of England, it's the Bank of England. It's not Jews, it's the Bank of England. Bank of England has annihilated China, India, Russia, and Germany. They're all mega economic and military powers. We're the only one they haven't. So it's possible. Q was something called Operation Trust. But here's the thing that people don't understand is in Operation Trust, they have to tell you what's going on so they can grab people like us who are conspiracy theorists who know. So when you go back and look at everything Q's saying, most of it's real. They're always going to have this disinformation in there. Patriots in control. Hillary's been arrested. All this shit. But Epstein, the servers, the Ukraine,
Crossfire Hurricane,
everything true, dude. Yeah. It's all true. They had to tell you what was true. Everybody that followed Q knows exactly everything that was going on forever. Are there parts of it that's a psyop? Of course. They're gonna give you misinformation, mostly to scare off a lot of the fucking normies. But it was all about corralling the conspiracy theorists. Can I tell you one quick thing that I got jammed?
Yeah.
So I had these two guys on from Skiba News Nation. Their name is Jeremiah Skiba and Jake Grant.
I've had a podcast, yeah.
They're fucking great. Jake Grant dropped some fucking crazy shit on me at the end of the episode. And he was talking about this passage in a book that didn't make the actual Bible. It's one of those books that didn't make the Bible. And it's Baruch 23, 4-5. And basically what he tells me, Baruch, I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically what this thing says is that the apocalypse will be kicked off when our realm reaches so many souls. So it's like, let's say 10 billion. Let's say that's the number. I don't know what the number is, but when we reach 10 billion souls, okay, that is when the apocalypse will happen, Revelation, and the judgment of Satan. And that's why you see all these mass casualty events, and that's why you see abortion so high. Like, nobody realizes that in 2025, 70 million abortions happen. Nobody knows that fucking number. It's a crazy-ass number. So the whole theory is that all these mass casualty events are really about keeping the numbers of souls down so Satan doesn't get judged. And I go, that makes way more sense than anything else to me. That all these fucking 100 million Chinese killed, the fucking World War I, World War IIs, and all this shit is all about holding off judgment of Satan.
And where do you find this information? There's a website with this?
I'll send it to you. There's a YouTube too.
Some scripture, old fucking papyrus.
Yeah, I'll find out. It's esoteric Bible
stone or something.
Yes. I'll send you the links they sent me. So that you could check it out. But that really resonated with me, dude. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I'm like into the Satan's little season. I think Satan is running the world right now. It's pretty obvious that most nations are governed by demons. I mean, United States included. Like, there's a lot of demonic shit going on. It's a wicked world. It's not right now. I think Satan is ruling the world, and most people are good, but man, it's you get easily corrupted, and
dude, it can't get worse. I mean, what's happening in Palestine, what's happening in Lebanon, what's happening in Ukraine is as bad as it gets. Jeffrey Epstein, it's pretty fucking dark. Now, some people say, it never happened. It's not it because there wouldn't be any mountains, but those look like something got destroyed to me.
Yeah.
So we could easily be in this 2,000 years of darkness for sure.
There's so many Tartarian channels now. It used to be just like John Levi and then My Lunch Break. Now there's a shit ton, dude. And it seems like, they figured out that the mud flood was like in 1812. Like, cause they're finding reports all over the world that the fucking, all of a sudden the skies went fucking black and then the ground just buried everything, like, 300 feet or whatever. And there's like witnesses there's interviews, lost interviews of people in the 1800s talking about it. And it's some crazy shit. They're nailing it down to like the early 1800s where there was this mass like apocalyptic event that, and it seems like it was man-made. Because they're like the people that the lost interviews, they could be fake. I don't know. But they're saying that before this happened, it was all like old world buildings that if you
dude,
you believe that old world buildings were actually like power stations and they could harness electricity.
Dude, they got free energy, dude.
Yeah, so we had free energy, and then they decided, this is a story, I don't know if it's real, but this is what they're saying, that they decided, like, you know what, we got to fucking kill this free energy shit. So they buried everything. So there's reports that people are saying before the great mud flood that like people were putting up these like cell towers, just like that 5G towers are putting up these towers, and with frequency, a certain frequency.
Yes, dude.
It did something to, like, the mud flood was man-made to reset everything. Crazy shit, dude. Crazy.
Well, I think all wars are about mass casualty events and to destroy the old world. That's my opinion. Candace Owens talked about that.
Yeah.
That fucking the Iraq war is about raiding the Library of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, and like Tesla, I saw this other one that connected Tesla to the old world, because they want us to think that Tesla, they even said, like, if you're looking at Tesla, he came up with all these inventions through spirits. Like, spirits were giving him these ideas, and he was coming
downloads.
This is what they're saying. This is the story, that he worked alone, and he was just coming up with all this shit on his own, and he had this idea to give free energy to the whole world, free electricity, when in reality, they scrubbed him, and he was trying to re-engineer all the old world shit. And he wasn't the only one. He was the most famous one because he was involved with Westinghouse. But there was a bunch of scientists that all they were trying to do is re-engineer the old world stuff. Because look at these. And so, Trump's uncle is the one that went through all his shit. Like, they scrubbed him. There's no.
I agree.
He died in the 40s, dude. There should be a shit ton of interviews with him on like on video, on audio, and there's none. They scrubbed it. But there is this one interview. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's him talking about the old world buildings and there's like files. Maybe they're fake, but there's files. Maybe they're fake, but they're saying these pictures of all these old world buildings, like the nation's capital and all these cathedrals. And Tesla was taking all sorts of these pictures, like strategically, to understand how they harnessed energy from the ether. So Tesla was actually one of many scientists that were trying to re-engineer all the old world free energy shit, but they made him look like he was a soul nut. He died penniless and insane, and they scrubbed his shit. Not one interview. Like, that dude should have had a shit ton of interviews.
I agree, dude.
They scrubbed him from everything, dude.
I agree, dude.
Dude, that's like the old world shit. That's what still gets me. I'm still.
I love it.
Almost every day I'll watch an old world video. I
love hidden history, dude.
Yeah, I know you got to get out of here, and so do I. I got to go teach some jiu-jitsu. Thank you.
I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you June 18th at the Mothership for the 1000th episode of Tinfoil Hat. We have a very special guest that confirmed. I'll tell you, I want to surprise everybody, so I'm very excited.
It's June 18th.
June 18th, sold out. Comedy Mothership.
It's already sold out.
It's sold out a week after we announced it.
Damn, in the baby room or the
big room, dude.
Oh shit. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love you, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Man. Have a good night. See ya.
Take care. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
The Jiu Jitsu Dojo is the ultimate training ground for life. Jiu-Jitsu will accelerate the evolution of your being, your consciousness, your soul. Through this amazing art, you will prove to yourself that you can master anything you set your mind to.
Happy birthday, Eddie Bravo.
I leave for Brazil tomorrow. Are you the Fear Factor guy? I'm like 6 pounds over. Time to sweat it out. Just imagine someone that has no idea how different your game is.
I'll tell you what this weekend was, man. It was a culmination point where all your hard work comes to like one great moment in time. You showed that you're a fucking champion. Guy who goes against convention. You created your own shit and figured interesting ways to get around problems in jiu-jitsu. And shows you that great things are possible if you work hard, if you dedicate yourself, and you use your creativity, and you push through. Your own human potential just goes up.
My 10th Planet Association has grown rapidly to over 70 academies worldwide, and their curriculums are all synced to 10th Planet headquarters located in downtown Los Angeles. I'm Eddie Bravo. I hope to see you on the mats.